Okay, so we're now at the League of Legends patch 10.1. I think it's 10.1. We got new TFT patch, and it's been out for a couple days. So I thought it'd be cool if we did another crafting video. This is just, I haven't had a chance to use all these. These are just things that I think should work. So as the meta settles, you know, there'll obviously be a couple of comps that come out that are just way better. But I think while we still have a few days, I think this would be kind of fun to try these things out, and you can, you know, theory craft yourself and flex some of these. And if there's a different idea I haven't come up with these same comps, like a different path, you can put that down in the comments below. But here we go. I already got them made out this time, a little bit quicker. So this is gonna get messy, but you'll understand where I'm going with. I think your summoners with shadows, you know, 4 shadows, boom, 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 boom. 4 shadows, kindred's AP scaling. We talked about that last video. I think that's pretty good. Summoners are good. Zare got buffed for some reason. Late game, I guess, you know, you can add 1 for this desert. So there's your 6, there's your 8. And if you go 9, you know, you get shadows. So, you know, you get 6 shadows out of that. It's, you know, it's pretty good. 6 shadows, pretty good. So, I mean, not, you know, you can go 3 shadows too. I mean, you know, you could lose your Senna, and you got 3, flex it with something else. You know, go Inferno, Lux, something like that. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can add 1 more. There's a few things you can try. You know, you go 9. You can get your Zerks if you really want the 3 Zerks buff. You know, there's a 9 you could run. You know, 9 being flex, whatever you want it to be. So there's a few things you can do with that comp, but basically Summoner, Inferno, Shadow is basically, you know, I've tried it several comps in a row now, or several patches in a row, and it hasn't really taken off. I mean, it can, you know, it's just obviously not as good as some other things, like everything else in this whole kit and caboodle is going to be. Let's see. I'm really convinced that there's going to be some version of Rangers and Wardens. Maybe not 4-4, but who knows? I really think the crystals, I mean, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. You know, you always got an idea, but I think there's some kind of Ranger, and you'll see as we go along, especially like the introduction to Karma. Things are just weird. I don't know about weird, but we're trying to figure out what to do with her. So, you know, it's really hard to go level 8 before you get a power spike, so that's why we got some of these other units in here. I know these are super late game, but it's like, you know, you get your lunar wardens, can, you know, and you use the other wardens obviously, but you can, you know, you can drop people. If you don't have 4 rangers, you can pseudo buff somebody with Karma. Whoever you got, you know, keep Karma alive. You can use lunar and everybody gets a little bit stronger as the fight goes along. If your wardens during mid game keep you alive, and you basically just flex with whatever you have. You swap out some of these units. It depends which one to go. Crystals, I don't really think Inferno would be worth, because you only get 5, you don't get the 6 buff. Kind of unfortunate, so you have to lose one of those. But you also have Mystics. You have an option for Mystics. There's just, you know, there's things you can do. But here's we'll go ahead and talk about this. With the introduction of this item right here, it reduces armor by 9%. You know, it doesn't stack if it's crit. So people are running like Sivers and Olafs with this, Twitch with it, because, you know, I don't have Twitch's ult, does it? I don't think it does any. Let's see, where's he at? Does it say what it says? Nope. I think his ult gives him a little bit more crit chance too. I think, I could be wrong. It could just be AoE or whatever, but you know what I mean. Like, you're passing through, reducing people's armor by 90% when he crits. So this combination is gonna be a lot. I just have red buff there for healing reduction. like I said, there could be a lot of things you could do differently. You know, Ash, I think Ash is a really good unit. So there's a one variation of Warden Ranger. We got Nami for the Mystics, crystals. Oh, okay, so this is the light comp. There's a few things you can run different with this. Obviously you want to get your 6 lights. 6 lights is a lot better than it used to be. Karma can like pseudo buff your whoever your carry is going to be, and you can run a carry Jax build too. I'm sure a lot of people probably already seen Disguised Toast's video of the PvE, but you can run a Jax can be a carry, Bane can be a carry, Lucian can be a carry. I mean, all 3 of these units can be carries. And it just depends on what you want to go with. The reason why I put Quicksilver on Lucian is you don't want him, if you're running the Senna variation, you know, the unkillable or whatever, you do not want him to get CC'd as he's dying, because then he's just CC'd while he's dead, and it's terrible. But also at the same time, that, you know, that's kind of almost a little bit of a waste at the same time, because it's like, well, now I got a unit that's dead, he can't be CC'd, he can't be targeted anyway. But it's, do you want to keep that ult going or what? You know, that's kind of the toss up you have. I think the item's really underrated this patch. I like it a lot, especially with like a predator or something like that, like throwing it on your Cogmaw when he has a Kiana. If anybody's ever watched me stream, they know I hate Kiana jumping back and just stunning the piss out of me. So, you know, if you do get the Senna, you can drop the Vayne, and you can run other things. You can, you know, the coolest thing about Karma is we get Mystic a lot more. You know, with Soraka, you add a Karma, you got Mystic. So here we are at 8. You know, we got 6 lights right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 lights. Okay, if we don't run that, then we can run a variation where we get everything. You know, if you can add Aatrox when you drop her, if you want to drop her, and you can run 9 lights. You know, 9 lights pretty crazy. It's 55%, but you get what I'm coming at. You know, you can run this for a while. You got level 1 Warden buff. Things like that. There's things you can do. There's things you can do all these comps, and I think that's kind of important. But the problem is you know, always like I said, I'm gonna keep saying, you know, meta's gonna settle, things are not gonna be good. You'll come back and look at this list and be like, man, this stuff was actually dog shit, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense in the beginning. I would say you could try to run the same thing with the IE and the Blast Whisper, but I don't think that's the play with Bane. I think Bane needs the RFC. I really do. And oh, that other thing is they made a lot of items scale, so when you push 3-star for her, this is hitting 5 people now, the Shiv is, which is nice. There's certain items, like that's something that'll have to get settled too, is like certain items scale. Lock of the Iron Solari scales, Bramble Vest, like there's just some different things that, which I hate Bramble Vest now, but there's our lights, there's light comp. Sure, you can swap some things around, maybe hybrid it up with some shadow or something, but I think strictly lights itself is probably pretty good now. Now this build right here is one I have not got to try this patch, but was deceptively good last patch. It's just really dependent. I think it's pretty fun to run it. It's pretty funny. It was a kind of a blender counter. And the whole gist of it is we got crystal buff, but we're throwing Warden on top of Ash as well. And I know this item's kind of like, you can kind of swap whatever item you want, but I just think it's good having the splash damage with the rapid fire on her. And the Goose News Rage Blade just gonna let her ramp up on her own without the, you know, the 4 rangers. She can tank any assassins jumping on her. You run 6 warden. It's not registering, but you know, you got your 1 2 3 4 5 6. You know, she'd be the 6. You drop out one of these, but you have until you get that point. You know, you got 5 6 7 8. That's 8. You got glacial out of it. You got ranger out of it. You got 6 wardens out of it. So you got a massive front line. Except of course against magic damage. So another thing I guess is, bro, you can flex karma into any of this kind of stuff. Like, you know, if you can't afford Ezreal, if you don't have 6 of these, you can give a shield to your Ashe or to whoever you're running in this place until you get this. And like I said, this gives her health. It's health. It's AoE splash, and then ramping up, you know, damage with the Goose News Rage Blade over time. And of course, I forgot to mention, this is on like a mountain map. I think Bramblevest is infinitely worse than Thornmail used to be, but I also believe that you can swap out this 3rd item. I just have this here just in theory because, you know what, man, Rage Blade's gotta be good. I mean, Gunblade, blah, 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 not Rage, Gunblade has to be good on somebody. And it's, I mean, this is all I'm thinking. Like, if he's all damage dealt, that means that goes off his vest, right? Like, for sure, like, it's got to be, right? I really wish it was the old Thornmail, because this was a lot better with the old Thornmail, and it might be just trash now. So don't blame me if you try this build in particular. This is just like a fun one. Of course, you can drop you can drop this. You can toss in poisons somewhere. If you want to swap it out. You know, of course, you would run your reduction build on Twitch, probably, I think. At least I think so anyway, you know. What we talked about earlier, your massive reduction. If you go with this, you can also get 4 glacial. And so basically, what I wish I could do is I could run 1 2 3 4 5, and I would drop oceans because this is 6, and I would put this in for 4 glacial, which I think would be pretty damn good, because you know, you got CC, glacial, CC, you know, there's a lot to offer then. But this is like my Mimi build of this time. I would like to try just full on warden comp. Pretty funny. So we'll just have to see if it's even an option this time with the Bramblevest. Like I said, Thornmail's infinitely better, but that's the Mimi comp this time. Here's another one that I think, this is theory crafting, and I'm not 100%. I just know I tried a little bit of it. Is the egg roll, man. Like I think this is a version of egg roll that is actually, it's definitely flexible, because if you're sitting here and you're like, in your mind, you're theory crafting, you're like, you know, what makes this any different than what you want to do anyway, right? Like, forget the islands for a second, but it's like, okay, well, I got early game units, I could transfer into any, you know, flex this, oceans, 4 oceans, whatever this would be, you know, woodland, if you want to go just commit full woodland, you know what I mean? Like, I really wish they would do a thing where if you got like 6 woodland or something, it would just make everyone double. Like, that would be insane. Like, you know, it'd give you a reason to go all the way with a Lux in the end. Something stupid like that, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, this guy ran it the whole game, so let's give him a break or something. But you know, it's kind of like egg roll. You can run the 3 assassins. It just depends on what you get, because I don't think they're as contested as they used to be, but early game you're gonna take some hits because people run these units a lot. I think Nico's super underrated. I really wish he was a mage, because I would love to throw Nico in like a mage comp. Mage comp with Steal the Druids. I still think that would be really good. But alas, that's not the way it is. I wish she was like, I wish instead of like a druid, she was maybe like a woodlands mage. I guess the same thing as, well, she's 3, right? She's woodland assassin mage. That's weird. I wish that Nico was also a mage. Like I just my opinion. But you know, see this, use your own judgment. Of course, you know, you try to 3-star all this stuff and you pseudo buff people with karma again and lunar. You know, druids is making you last longer, lunar's buffing you up, 15% pretty much everything, 10% spell power. I mean, you can last a long time. And if you're lacking damage, then you can jump into the assassin side of it. The only reason why I would run Renekton like the old school, I wouldn't throw items on Renekton, I don't think. I mean, unless you just get tank items. I mean, maybe Renekton's good. Maybe there's a different tank that would be good. But perhaps like with the Kazakhs, you know, you get your 3 assassins, 3 assassin buff with him. Maybe since he's been buffed, maybe we swap it out and we run Azir, you know, like a desert with Azir, throw items on an Azir. Who knows? Swap it out for oceans. Like I said, you know, there's things that can be flexed. It's probably dog shit, but you know, I think there needs to be a point where all these comps can do something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just strictly just completely early game. There's got to be a way to make it work, you know, and it's not going to be like top of the meta, but it's fun stuff that people might not run and things you can. This is something with the prevalence of this new builds, the armor reduction builds, right? Berserkers are going to splash. So the only problem with this is no mana and no healing besides what he already has. So it's just the basic Berserker build. And you run variations, you know what I mean? Like, you can buff people up with karma, you can buff all off up with karma, buff your ranger, whichever side you go on. This is your glacial side of it. This is 6 glacials, so you know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you get 6 glacials, 6 glacial, 6 zerks. I mean, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty late game though. That's a lot of CC. This is basically just like 2 variations of the Olaf. This is what I consider was pretty damn good old Olaf. No rapid fire cannon. He does have to jump and get melee range. That can get him in trouble. Or you can swap all this. You know, she's just here for if you want to throw karma in, you know, like for in mid game or whatever. Swap it the other way, run 6 zerks, poison, you know what I mean? That's at least some of these builds are like already ones we've ran. They're just changing a little bit now, you know, prevalence of new units buffing them, the builds, reductions. I personally think maybe this side of it would be stronger just because of the massive reduction. Obviously you don't want to double up if you even get this much, you know what I mean? Like, these are just things you can throw on people. So Zerker's probably pretty good. And you know, just the reduction I think is really what people are gonna soon see is probably like super good. And I think this last build I have is a little overkill, but there's just a difference. It's a blender. It's a blender, right? But it's not Nocturne blender. It's Azir blender. Azir got buffed. Azir's part of the deserts. You run 2 deserts with him. 2 deserts, summoners. I really want to try this build out. It flexes 2 ways in my mind that makes sense. So you got karma buffing him, but this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's these units. This part of the comp is it. You know what I mean? That's your 4 blade masters. That's 3 summoners. That's not even that many units. I mean, of course, it's depending on spat, but you know, within 6 units, you have 3 summoners, which is a buff in itself. 4 blade masters, buff in itself. So then you start flexing. Then the brain comes in. So you throw in karma, mystic, buffing up Azir. Okay, you throw in Janna. Everyone's got cloud now with mystic. Okay, we got some reduction. You know, magic damage reduction, which doesn't seem as prevalent, might not be as big of a deal to you. Then later on, of course, this is another thing too, is like we already have desert. We already got 50% armor reduction. So do you need Sivir rocking all of her 90% reductions on people? That's up to you. I personally think, and I don't ever see people do it because probably super expensive, or not expensive, but kind of like a waste of a BF. But I think Deathblade on Sivir is insane. I think it's absolutely insane. And since Hush has been nerfed, I think Disarm takes place of Hush. You can't stop people from gaining mana, but people aren't running mages as much, so does it really matter? Like, I don't see that many ocean mages anymore. So I think Disarm with its 5% more chance to make people stop doing anything is just as good. Obviously they still get mana, but Disarm's still pretty good. Let's see, we got the Blade Masters. You can flex all of this out, right? You know, you got 6 units, so you got 3 more slots. We already got 2 lights. So this would be 4 lights. This would be 5 lights. And then you swap a summoner out, 6 lights. How weird is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you go 9, you can get 6 lights, 4 Blade Masters, Mystic. Like, you can do it. Like, that's, you know, that's a very, I mean, everything here is obviously super expensive, and this is like super late game, like, you know, thinking here, but you swap it out, man. You know, you got 6 lights with a Zed. Like, if you do get a Zed, you know, with those items, with reductions, like, you still keep your desert. Like, there's this build right here is pretty, on paper, pretty crazy. And of course, I got Yi here in case you do get like another Blade Master item. You can go 6 Blade Masters. You can try to meme, you know, but this is pretty crazy in itself. Of course, there's just so many items that you could go, right? And we'll never ever get these setups. Like, maybe once in 100 games you'll get some kind of anything relative to that. But this is I think this might be sleeper, bro. I think. But the biggest problem is, like, everyone's going to catch on to what kind of units are getting used. Like, Blade Masters again? Azir? Karma? I'm just going to take these units, you know what I mean? See what I can do with them. So, that's my comps for 10.1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. The last video had a good amount of... let me know what you guys thought below. 10.1, like I said, you know, things are gonna settle. Get on and play while you can before it gets boring again. In my opinion, I think the game gets boring, so I think they need to patch more, but we'll see, man. Maybe the game's unbalanceable, who knows? Like, truly unbalanceable at the end. Like, there'll always be something. But get on and play with some of these and let me know what you think. Let me know if any of these worked that you didn't think would work. Let's get it going, man. Let's change the meta a little bit. Let's not just all run the same things, you know. Some of this stuff may be uncontested, so people are all running this, like Blade Master and stuff. Okay, you try to do the egg roll. Maybe the egg roll gets you far enough where you get 2nd place, 3rd place, whatever, before the 1st place guy really ramps up with his Blade Masters or something, you know. It's not always a bad thing, you know. 1st place isn't always attainable. So let me know what you guys thought. I'll see you guys next time.